the truth is like your service probably isn't going to be amazing. It's just not. I think more than anything, that's just like a proxy for I'm scared of being told no. I'm scared of the rejection. And that's real. It's saturated for a reason, and it's because there's a market for it and people want it and there's money to be made. You don't have to go get 10% of the market share to have meaningful income.
Hey guys, real quick, today's episode is a little bit different. We've never done this before, but today's episode is structured as an instruction manual to help you start a lifestyle business like James talks about. If you're interested in a worksheet to help you get started, validate ideas, and scale your business, check out the link in our description for our school community where you can find a resource that we've built for you. Again, link in description. Now here's the episode. James Lincoln, you're building your agency to 100,000 monthly revenue and helping others do the same. When did you first get started on this idea of a lifestyle business?
I don't know, man. It's like, it was kind of accidental. And when I graduated from my MBA program and like had this business that was making, really good money, I kind of realized like, man, it took that like making money to realize that like money doesn't mean everything, right? Like I
Past the point, right?
Past the point, right? It's like, but that point isn't that high. And like maybe for some people it's higher than others, but like my wife and I, don't have like these really inflated lifestyles. I think we actually live really comfortably, but like, yeah, pre-MBA, when I was working and making 80 grand, I'm like, oh, I have to do whatever I can to make, $200,000 or $250,000. And then once I was making that, I was just kind of like, okay, like, I don't really know how my life can get much better.
Yeah.
Right. So that's when I was like, well, there's probably not a ton of incentive for me to like go crazy, building this like massive business. Like I wanted to just fit my lifestyle. It doesn't mean I don't want to grow the business or the business hasn't grown. It's just like, once I hit that threshold of income, which again, for me, is like probably about $150,000, $200,000. Like once I hit that, I'm like, okay, now I can start prioritizing things in my life the way I want to. And that was kind of like the birth of a lifestyle business for me. And where I was like, this is pretty rad. I don't need to go raise money and have a, $100 million exit. Like that's not going to make a massive difference in my life. Like, certainly from a quality of life standpoint, than like just making $500,000 a year and like on my terms.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't really matter to have a $50,000 nicer car or an extra 2,000 square feet in your house. Like, is that really going to change your life too much?
Yeah.
Probably not. Is it going to make you happier? Immediately, yes. 2 weeks later, probably no. So we're talking about lifestyle businesses. Like define lifestyle business. Is that 4-hour work week for you, or what does that mean?
For me, it's just a business that like allows me to have the freedom to be able to do anything, anytime. Like I think the definition I often hear of it is like you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want. And again, a lot of times that means I work. Like I work pretty normal hours. But like when it's my family's in town and I want to just be at home and like hanging out, I don't answer to anybody. Like nobody's telling me no.
Yeah.
And what I think is like the threshold of like true lifestyle business is that it doesn't actually hurt the business, right? Like I've set up the systems and I've built the team so that like it all just runs without me having to like plug in. So if I'm going skiing on a Monday, Tuesday, cause like the snow is awesome.
Yeah. It's fresh. Got to get out today.
It's like, there's no difference between me doing that and me like sitting in an office doing some work, right? Cause the work I'm doing isn't tied to the day to day. And I'm able to, like the business is able to function without me. So it's a combination of kind of all of those things. But ultimately it's just like, man, I just live life on my own terms and I make money doing it.
Yeah. So what sort of businesses are able to become a lifestyle business then? What are a few examples?
I mean, so frankly, I think any business can be a lifestyle business, right? Like as long as you don't have, I think the key pieces there are like, you don't have investors because investors are never going to be behind lifestyle.
Yeah.
They just like inherently their model.
They only want growth.
Yeah. They only want growth. A lot of times it's tricky to have a partner And only because like, if your partner is not aligned with you on this like lifestyle goal, then there's a lot of contention.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, and I actually went through that with a business. The first business I ever started in 2019, like I was working with a guy who was my brother-in-law, and he was very lifestyle minded. And I'd be like, dude, why are you going dirt biking? Like I'm sitting in the house working.
Yeah.
And like, you're going dirt biking.
Yeah.
Like,
It's Tuesday, 10 a.m. Like,
yeah, dude,
it's
like get
time
after
to work.
it. Come on. So, I mean, I think that any business can be a lifestyle business. I would argue that like remote businesses lend themselves better to it if like location freedom matters to you.
Yeah.
You know, like my family and I travel quite a bit. I mean, not like extravagant travel, but like we spent a lot of time in California. We spent a little over a month in Hawaii last year. You know, and if you have like a blue collar, like home service business, it would be challenging to do that because, you know, you've got clients and team that are, you know, in person doing the work that like you probably need to be a little bit more tuned into.
Right.
But certainly you could get it to a point where you can do that.
Right.
Just
If you got like
longer.
a GM who is running the business for you, but you're the owner of the business, it could still become a lifestyle business.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably more of an investment at that point. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be the pathway to like true freedom in a home service or like physical business is like you have a GM that's running it. It kind of turns into more of that investment. But an investment you can drop into anytime and like, you know, spend 3 months being like, this quarter, I'm just going to like work really hard on this objective.
Yeah.
That again, like it doesn't have to necessarily change the day to day of the business. It's like changing the trajectory of the business, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think as we're talking about a lifestyle business, which is where I want to focus the conversation, I think a lot of people, they maybe don't hate their job, but they hate how much time they have to spend at their job and the commute to get there. And then never see your family. And then weekends you're thinking about work, even when you're not working. And so this idea of a lifestyle business becomes very attractive.
Yeah.
You said like, oh, threshold's not that high, like 200, 250,000, like above that, you know, what's the difference? I would say that most people probably think, oh, 200, like that's crazy high. Like, how do I make my first sale? So like, what would you say to someone who is wanting to start a lifestyle business? Like, let's walk through some of the prep to get started. Like, how do you validate ideas?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be honest, dude, like prep, as far as prep goes, like I'm not a big prep guy.
Yeah.
Like you just do it and you just get after it. My feeling on like validation is that you've got, there's like, if you think about like a normal distribution curve, right? And on the x-axis might be like, well, I'm going to get my axes messed up here, but essentially it's like, how likely are you to succeed? And how much money are you going to make? So let's say that, you know, the x-axis is how much money you make. The y-axis is how likely you are to succeed. Okay. And in a normal distribution curve, on either end, you've got these like tail events that are highly unlikely to succeed. There's very, very few of them that succeed, but they either make a ton of money or like,
you lose everything,
right?
money.
Like you're just kind of like SOL because you made nothing and you wasted a ton of time on it. But in the middle, you've got this like high likelihood of success and reasonable amount of money. And it's like, I think it's just people think of a lifestyle business and they're like, oh, they don't make any money. It's like, that's so false. You can make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in a lifestyle business. And in that like section of the distribution curve, it's just a matter of like, everything already exists there.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're not reinventing the wheel. You're not educating a market. Like I run an SEO agency for home service businesses. And the thing that I hear more than anything from people who are like, I would love to run an SEO agency, but like, it's so saturated. I'm like, well, yeah, but like I've got over $1 million a year business, in a saturated market, you know, like it's saturated for a reason. And it's because there's a market for it and people want it and there's money to be made. You don't have to go get 10% of the market share to have meaningful income. Like I probably have 0.0000001% of the market, less than that even. Yeah. And it's like, I make a ton of money. Yeah. You know? So I think that like when you're thinking about what can I go do, just find something that people are already doing and are already making money doing. you know, and then you don't have to validate because it's already validated by nature of there are people doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I think that's great. I was hoping you wouldn't say like, oh, well, you know, spend a year, analyze the market and gather all this data.
You
like
just go out and you try and sell, pick an idea. And like, you know, when I first started the agency, it was just me, you know, I hired a cold caller because I was like, I don't have time to cold call. And we got our first deal closed. Like I was just taking appointments basically and like trying to close these deals. When I closed my first deal, I had nothing on the back end figured out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, well, we're going to build you a website and we're going to get you more business, right? We're going to do your SEO. I didn't even really know what that meant. You know, like I had a vague understanding, certainly enough to sell, which is a low bar. Like you watch some YouTube videos and be like, okay, I know like the things to say to sell.
Yeah.
And I told them like, oh, it'll probably take us 3 weeks to build your website. And they're fine with that. Right. And then
so you had 3 weeks to figure it out, basically.
Exactly. And really for me, it was 3 weeks to now try and go get 3 more customers so that I can now hire somebody to build websites, right? And not lose money. Like it's just the principle is be cash flow positive.
Yeah.
And so I did, I got 2 more customers. We were doing like $850 a month in recurring revenue. And at that point I was like, well, I'm not going to hire a web developer because that's like a one-time thing. Like I'm going to use a freelancer. They built me each of those websites. And then I hired a full-time SEO specialist. And that guy's still with me today. His income has like tripled and he's
good for him.
He runs our SEO team, you know, he's based in the Philippines. He's amazing. Like we've been working together for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But because I like had that lead time on the back end, I was able to get more sales and then hire somebody to do the fulfillment. And I mean, I'm like pretty stoked that we've never had a negative cash flow month at Goodly ever.
Yeah.
It's always been cash flow positive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you, was that intentional? You had these 3 weeks to get more customers and build the product. Did you just say, oh, well, it'll take 3 weeks, like knowing, oh, we're going to need this time to get more customers and build the product?
Yeah, it was intentional, right? Because I'm like, I could have said, hey, I'm going to sit down and build this site tonight. Like websites don't take a ton of time to build. Like it's probably, we honestly, we got a customer today with like no backlog and like everything's just like, we have our team just sitting there ready to go. Like we could build a site in 48 to 72 hours, like great site. You know what I mean? We could certainly build like a landing page in a day.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, we're talking 16, 24 hours of man hours. So it's like, yeah, I could have been like, yeah, I'm going to sit down and build this site. But for me, the constraint was time. I was doing an MBA program full time. I actually had a full-time job that I had gone back to. It was a really, really good opportunity for me, and they were probably way too kind to me. And I didn't do a great job, which I feel quite bad about. But it was a full-time job that was remote, and I was like probably putting in 20 hours a week. So it's like I had time. They knew I was doing my MBA, so they were conscientious of that. But I still was limited in time. I had little kids at home. And so like for me to be like, well, I'm going to sell and now I'm going to go learn how to build the website and do it for you. Just like, it didn't make sense to do. Right. I'm like, I'm just going to go get a few more sales, which is like my core competence that nobody else can do. And I'll find somebody to build the websites, right? Like I think I paid $80 per website that was built. And
is that's it?
That was it, and they probably weren't the best sites in the world, but like
to get started
at the time, it was like, that's all we needed. Right. And like the people that paid us to do it it was better than what they had. And they were happy with like the level of service they were getting from me. So, and I had to manage it, but like all along the way, I was like, I don't have time to learn how to do all these things. I need to hire somebody that can do them, and I'll manage that person. And if there's like things that they're not doing correctly, like, I have to learn it enough to be able to manage it effectively. But really I'm like, I just have to sell. And so having that lead time gave me the opportunity to make more money to be able to hire that person.
Yeah. And you teach people how to do this, or you coach people and work with people. And like, this is how you can turn your idea into this lifestyle business.
Yeah.
From people that I talk to, and even myself, I think a lot of the holdup is either I don't have an idea or I don't have the money to start my business. I think a lot of people want to be an entrepreneur, but they're like, I don't really have an idea. I would like the lifestyle. Or, I have an idea, but like, I don't have the money to get it started. You've kind of already spoken to the idea piece of like, well, what already exists? Just go do that, but do it a little better.
Yeah.
Or do it just as well.
Yeah,
like, it's a big market.
You don't even have to do it any better, like not to start at least.
Yeah. You're like, just go try it. Just go do it.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the second piece of like, I don't have the money to start X?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is why agencies are so great, is because you don't need a lot of money to start an agency. When my original like experience in entrepreneurship was like a little software company, and that was similar, right? It was like very MVP. Like we sold an MVP and like did all the fulfillment on the back end after selling. Like it was always sales first. And by the time we were at a point where it was like, let's build a full scale software here, we ended up just white labeling. Like the business had kind of, the relationships had kind of fallen apart internally. That was like, we don't want to invest a ton of time and money into this. Like, let's just white label something and put it on autopilot. So that didn't cost a lot. But when I came back to the MBA program, I wanted to buy a business, and that costs a ton of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's varying like barriers to entry to entrepreneurship. And you could go and say, I want to start a landscaping business, and like, you're going to need 10, 15, 20 grand to like buy a truck and a trailer and a mower and do some branding. And like, that's a bit of a hurdle for people. Similarly, right, you could say, I want to start a software company. With AI, it's a little bit easier today, but traditionally you were like, well, I got to hire software engineers. Yeah. So I'm going to go raise some money and give away a large portion of my company based on the idea and like pay the engineers to build it, right? Like massive cost pre-sales. Yeah. But with an agency, you don't have any of that. Like I started my agency with $2,000. That was it. And like anybody can go find a way to make $2,000. Like go sell some stuff, or like flip stuff on Facebook Marketplace, or, pick up like odd jobs around town. Like, and if the easiest thing of all, dude, and I tell college students this all the time, is like, go be a waiter or a waitress. You'll make probably $50 an hour, and you can do that 4 hours a shift, 3 nights a week, right? Like it's not going to affect your day job because you're usually working from like 5 to 10. Right. And you can make really, really good money. Like where else are you going to make $50 an hour in an extremely part-time job? Yeah. Like there are ways to make money if you really want to hustle and make money. But like with an agency, all you really need is a domain, and that costs like $12. An email costs like $8 a month now with Google. Pretty cheap. And then like you're off to the races. Like maybe you need a little bit of cash to like build the list or something and make calls. But you don't even need that. Like you can use your own cell phone to make calls like I used to. You don't have to hire a cold caller. Like I hired a cold caller for $500, $600 a month out of the Philippines, and had like a platform that they called on. So that cost a little bit more, but you can do this very, very affordably. Yeah. And then just go get sales. Like that's the principal thing, is like, you've got to get revenue into a business, and now you've got something to work with. Yeah. I would think a lot of people probably don't even think of these little steps of like, oh, how can I make an extra $2,000? Like I also think like maybe easy is not the right word if you want to like do it yourself, but it's pretty simple process to like just go be a waiter in the evening hours. Like, and I understand some people have additional time constraints, like doing your MBA. You got extra kids at home. Maybe you can't be a waiter every night. No, but you've got to be able to like, you got to find something. Yeah. And it's like, if you really want to start something, like there's a lot of like people who want to be entrepreneurs and they think the lifestyle is amazing, right? Like first off, the lifestyle is amazing. I can tell you eventually, right? Eventually, not for everybody. Some people get into business models that just inherently are headaches. But like, if you can't come up with a way to make $2,000, if you're coming up with excuses, like I don't have the time to do that, it's just probably not for you. Yeah. Like it's the same thing. Like I have a course on how to do this, right? And I'm like, in reality, the course probably just like helps the people who would have been successful without a course be successful slightly faster. The people who inevitably won't be successful are not going to be successful because of a course. Because it's like, it's like, no, it's not like bagging on people, but like some people just don't have it. They don't want to do that. They don't want to put that work in. Like people ask me all the time, like, well, how much did you work when you were starting the agency? Like, what can I expect to put in every day? And I'm like, I didn't track it.
Yeah.
I literally just did everything that needed to be done. I went to school. I spent some time with my family. I put my kids to bed. I did my job, again, poorly. If any of those people ever listen to this, like I want them to know that I didn't do a good job.
I recognize that I did a bad job. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then like every other waking hour was like spent doing the business. And like I sacrificed a lot in my MBA program. Like I didn't take classes, and I had some people who were like, "You're not doing what you should be here. Like you're not getting the most out of this."
You didn't read the chapter before class. Like, sorry, dude.
Totally. I'm like, I'm not. I would tell people, I'm like, I'm not going to be any help on assignments. I don't care about them, and it's like nothing personal. I'm not trying to say this doesn't matter. It's just like it's down here on my priority list. And so like I only ended up doing like half the credits, and the other half of the credits I finagled getting credit for my business and a conference I put on and like other random little stuff. Yeah. And so you've got to be resourceful enough to say like, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to make excuses. If you're sitting at home and you're like, oh yeah, could I go be a waiter for 4 hours a week? Like, well, no, it's like, okay,
like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Just keep your job and be happy. Like, if anything, you just got to like, learn to be content. And I remember like quitting my job, and I had a phenomenal mentor, right? So like I worked at a healthcare I worked at a hospital system down in Texas. That's where I went back to work during my MBA program. So those guys were just amazing to me, amazing people. And I had this like phenomenal mentor who just took me under his wing. And I remember telling them like, look, dude, I know I'm like being really successful here. Like I know I'm on a great trajectory, but I've got to go try this and like do something on my own. And if I can't do it, then I'll be able to come back and just be happy. Cause I'm like, at least I know it a shot. And I'm like, I'm never going to have to wonder like, should I have done that? So it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're unhappy at your job, like, but you can't figure out how to get into entrepreneurship and you're not willing to like put the time in, then just like find a way to be happy and just accept that like, that's who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I employ people and I count on them being employees. Like there's nothing at all wrong with that. You just got to be happy with it.
Yeah. So still thinking early stages then. And I totally agree that like there are people who are meant to be entrepreneurs and there are people who are not. And the reality I think is that the entrepreneurs are the minority, where most people should be employees, and we'll see what happens with AI and what work looks like in the future. But I think today, from my understanding of the marketplace of labor, I think most people should not be entrepreneurs, even if the lifestyle looks appealing to you. Like, I don't think everybody's cut out for it.
Yeah.
Like I've been running a podcast that, I was telling you before this, like I haven't tried to add a revenue generating arm of the podcast very seriously, or really at all. I started a school community with the free trial, but haven't done anything with it yet. It's made $0. I'm still putting in all the hours into it with the expectation that the show will grow and it will make money, and I'll add revenue generating aspects to it. Is that for everybody? No, I don't think so. Like most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think this one's 15 or 16.
There you go, dude.
So here we are. But I also think that entrepreneurship, whether it's podcasting or a real business, is not for everybody. But speaking of the early days, like what would you say to the serial entrepreneur who has tried all these, we'll call them side hustles? What would you say to the idea of focus versus experimentation?
I think that most people lack focus, myself included. It's like I've got this business that's doing well, and I'm like always like, well, what else can I do? What else? And it's like, well, in reality, that's probably the best place for me to spend my time. Like I'm going to get the best return on my money. For the people that have just like tried a bunch of different stuff, I think it's a like you have to get into something enough. Like if you're always, what am I trying to say? If you're always trying to like find the next thing,
like every 2 months or
you never let yourself like learn that thing enough or put enough time into it to be successful. And it's generally a problem where you're like, well, either that's a better opportunity or that looks more interesting, or I haven't been able to be successful in this the way I thought I would be.
Yeah.
And it's just that classic, like you see the diagrams where it's like, you've got, again, it's a graph, but it's like, it goes up and it's like, this is like me being really excited and confident about the opportunity. And then it's like whoop, all the way down to like the valley of despair and discouragement. And it's a slow climb up from there. Right. And I would say that happens in everything. Every business. You're just like, this will be really easy and I'm going to be making tens of thousands of dollars a month. And then you get into it and you're like, whoa, hold on a second. I just had like 10 sales calls and nobody even answered.
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to be lining up for me to sell them this.
Yeah. They're waiting for me to call.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, this must be the wrong opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be easy. So let me go try the next thing. And when you do that, you're just cycling back through like the high level of confidence and like the valley of discouragement, and the high level of confidence and the valley of discouragement. And you just keep convincing yourself like, well, the next idea is going to be the one, when in reality, nothing's easy. And if you never give yourself time to come out of that valley of discouragement and come up the slope of like enlightenment of like, I'm getting better at this. And oh, hold on a second. Now I know how to sell to these people. And phone calls turns out not to be even the best channel to reach them. And like, you just don't learn those things in the first 2 months. You've got to learn them over time. And so you got to stick with something. And that's where I'm like, if you find an opportunity that people are already successful in and are making money, and like, go talk to people. Like if anybody wants to talk to me about my agency and how much money I make and how much money I made in month 2, like I'm an open book, dude. Like, you know, people will give you that information. So it's like, find out what people are actually making money doing. And then just say, that works for me. Like, I don't have to love it. I certainly don't love SEO, right? But
You're
like,
good enough at it, or at least know how to manage people who are good at it.
I've been able to run a business is really what I would say. Like, you know, so it's like, but I still don't love it like that. I wouldn't say I'm passionate about it. But it makes money and it provides the lifestyle that I am passionate about, which is like time with my family, freedom to travel, like disposable income to, you know, eat good food. And just like live a good life. So I think you just got to stick with something that you validate through a market that exists. And if you can do that, like just stick with it and stop jumping from thing to thing.
Yeah. And not to say that like, oh, you should never, you know, this isn't going to get millions of views, but somebody, you know, out of a pool of 1 million people has the capacity to start a business that's like totally blue ocean. Like this has not existed before. This is a new thing. And you could build that into, you know, the next $1 billion enterprise. But today we're talking about lifestyle businesses.
Yeah.
And typically, correct me on this if I'm wrong, a lifestyle business is not going to become the $1 billion enterprise.
Oh, I mean, I doubt it. But again, that's where I'm like, I think it's got the wrong reputation of like what do you think about when you hear lifestyle business? What do you think?
Somebody who read the 4-Hour Work Week, sitting on the beach half the time, hop onto the laptop the other time, and you know they're not working too much. I'd say that's like the stereotype, right?
Yeah, and like generally like not making a crazy amount of money, but like making enough money to live.
Right. Yeah, making enough money.
And people think that's risky because they're like, oh well, if you have a business that pays you 120 grand or a job that pays you 120 grand, like the business is riskier because it could go away. In reality, the jobs can go away like that.
Yeah.
The businesses generally will like slowly decline. But I think that it's just this reputation of like, yeah, you're not working, you're not making crazy amounts of money. But I'm like, there are businesses out there. I actually just met with some guys a couple weeks ago who have an agency. They've run it for 12 years. They do $10 million plus a year in revenue. And I'm like, that's probably spitting out $2 to $3 million a year in profit. And they just sold for probably, you know, $20 to $25 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a lifestyle business that like you don't make a bunch of money in? Like, no, you're making millions and millions of dollars. And I don't know, dude, I'm probably just like a little bit small-minded. And I'm like, what does $1 billion do for me? I just don't think it does anything. Like, you know, what does it do? It honestly probably reduces my quality of life because it's like, if I had $1 billion, we'd probably go buy like some massive house up on the mountains or in Hawaii. And all of a sudden we've taken ourselves out of an environment with people like us. You know, like we live in a townhome, and we've got 3 little kids, and everybody around us, we go to church with them, we play in the backyard with them, go to the park with them. They're exactly the same as us. They just are. Like, they've got little kids. My daughter can go outside and play with like 8 friends in our backyard. And it's like, how do you put a price tag on that? Like, we could go move up to the mountains where nobody lives. And it's like, well, now my kids don't have any friends, and we don't have any friends who are like in the same stage of life as us, because how many people at 30 are like making $1 billion?
Yeah.
Right. Like, it would reduce my quality of life in that sense. Certainly from a community standpoint. And again, I just think like maybe I'd stress less about money, but you know, we'll do.
But maybe you'd stress more about losing it at that point, right?
Maybe if I had $1 billion, I probably wouldn't stress at all.
I mean, maybe you wouldn't, but I think that's kind of what a lot of people do.
I probably would just put it in the S&P and be like, that's just going to sit there and I'm never going to touch it again. And we'll live off of, 5%. But I don't know, dude. I just think, again, money is like something that when you don't have it, you think that's all that matters. I just need to get more and more and more and more and more of that. And then once you like make a little bit of money, like $200,000 is a lot of money, right? Like for anybody. But like in the scheme of things, it's actually not that much money.
Right. Like over your lifetime, it's
totally. And it's like pretty attainable. Like to make $200,000 a year isn't like wildly unattainable. Certainly as a business owner, it's attainable, but like there are jobs, there's not a ton of jobs, but there are jobs that pay $200,000 a year. And I just think like once you get to this point where you're like making some money, you're just like, yeah, okay, this wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Like, I still worry. I still have the same problems. I still am like, in the same community, and I don't know. I don't optimize my life for that anymore. I just don't think there's any need to. But to your point of a lifestyle business, like there are people that have lifestyle businesses that sell for $50 million, right? So if you're thinking like, oh, having a lifestyle business means I'm not going to make that much money, you're fooling yourself for sure.
Would you say that it's rare or uncommon at all for a lifestyle business to be able to sell for that much? I mean, 50 is a lot, but we'll take the number down. I
mean, no, I wouldn't say it's as rare as any business selling for that much is. Okay. Like I think that if a lifestyle business, all it is like you're in control. It's like there's nothing preventing you from growing it through the moon. Like there's nothing keeping you from doing that. You don't need money. Like I think this is Alex Hormozy talks his whole like money model thing. Talked about this. So like I would say, especially in Utah, lifestyle businesses are like pitted up against like raising VC.
Yeah,
that's
like the two
pretty
things
simple.
Here.
It's like you either raise VC or you're like a lifestyle entrepreneur. And they like look down on lifestyle entrepreneurs. I swear the VC firms have like had like PR companies they've hired to like push that.
Yeah,
narrative.
they ran whole campaigns about how bad it is to make $200,000 on your own and live for yourself.
Totally. So, but it's because their business model is like we have to have companies to invest in, and we need those companies to grow at a breakneck pace so they can raise the next round and either sell or go public. Now, I'm not like super tapped into the economy here, but like there haven't been a lot of these companies going public nor selling lately. Like the VC backed company market in Utah like just doesn't seem as strong as it probably did 5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, rates are higher. It's a little bit harder to, have that same breakneck speed growth. I know Pattern just went public.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not like it's happening all the time.
Right. So it's like, if these are the two scenarios, and I'm actually kind of lost my train of thought here, but like they're pitted up against each other. And, I was talking about Hormozy. So in reality, it's like, the only difference between those two is like this one has capital. And what is that capital for? Like growth. You know what I mean? Like that's what the money is for. It's not to sit in the bank and pay the founders. It's for growth. Okay. And over here you have no capital. So it's like typically you'll grow slower. Yeah. But there are models like his whole money model point in his new book is like, if you find a model, like you can finance your own growth through like selling to customers, right? If you can like increase your LTV of a customer and
that's lifetime value for my mom.
Yeah. And shrink the time frame in which you capture that. So it's like, getting a 1 year subscription to something versus like a monthly subscription over 12 months. It's like, well, cool. I just got, $6,000 instead of $500 a month. And I know it costs me, $700 to acquire a customer. So it's like by getting $6,000 up front, I can now fuel my own growth and go acquire, we'll say $600 to acquire a customer for simple math, but I can go acquire 10 more customers with the $6,000 that I got from customer A. And now each customer represents 10 customers I can now go acquire. So I go from 1 customer to 10 customers to 100 customers to 1,000 customers. So it's like, if you just, in a lifestyle business, you can do that. Like there's nothing prohibiting you from.
You can restructure your business model and your sales acquisition processes where you can finance your own growth.
Exactly. And that's the only difference between the two. Is like, one is like somebody gave you money to grow, and over here it's like, well, I got to finance my own growth somehow. And growth is expensive, and you're spending a lot of money, but it's expensive in either place. So it's like, well, would you rather own significantly less of your business, right? Like a lot of these VC founders end up, by the time they sell, with like anywhere from like 8 to 15% of their company. Or would you rather own 100% of your company, be able to control all the decisions you make, and grow like self-financed? And I just think there's so like we probably prey a little bit on these like naive 20-something-year-olds who literally just see like raise a series A as like the pinnacle of success.
Oh yeah.
When in reality, like the numbers show you that is no indicator of success. Like odds are you're still going to fail.
And because of how cap tables work, like how much of that is really going to become yours at acquisition?
Yeah. And you got to count on raising 4 more rounds.
Yeah.
Like you're going to keep getting diluted. When it's like, there are so many other ways to build a business. You could go get debt. Like go get an SBA loan.
Yeah, I wanted to get into debt too. Like, what are your thoughts on debt for a lifestyle business?
I don't love debt. Just like personally, I don't love the idea of having debt. But I mean, you learn in like finance, in school that like a company without debt is really an irresponsible company. Like you should be leveraging debt, to grow. But you've got to have a lot of confidence in yourself and in your business. I would say that like, as a lifestyle business owner, I don't want debt because it's just added stress. It's like,
it's another thing to manage.
It's another thing to manage. And it's another like stakeholder to be accountable to.
Yeah.
They don't have a say in the business like a VC would who's sitting on a board, but like there's covenants you have to abide and debt payments you have to make. And it's like, there's very much a stakeholder.
Right.
So I think anytime that you can bootstrap, you're better off.
Yeah.
And for me, like, again, if we talk about agencies, agencies have had like some positive press in the last couple of years, and maybe it's just because I'm like looking at it. But I used to think like, oh, this is lame. I own an agency. Like,
dude, I feel like everyone I know on LinkedIn is
running an agency.
They're running an agency.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're great businesses, right? Because it's like you sell a service, you get paid for it up front, and then you like deliver on that service and you can set up a recurring like revenue model. But like they're so good because like I said, there's no cost to start it or very minimal cost to start it. And like the risk is extremely low. I just listened to Michael Girdley talk about this with Nick Lusky on the Nickonomics podcast. And it's like, yeah, if you're 20, like go do one of these businesses and like cut your teeth a little bit and learn what it means to like own a P&L, learn what it means to hire somebody. And like, more importantly, to fire somebody. Like firing people is hard, super hard.
Have you had to do that a lot in your,
I mean, quite a bit. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head how many people, but we, with global staff, oftentimes we'll like churn through quickly because some people will hire just for like not going to show up to work for, a couple days a week. And it's like, well, that's not going to work. Like, so you kind of have to like hire and fire quickly in the global market to like find the people who are reliable, with like no other alternative for like determining reliability. US based employees, I think I've had to fire 3, 4, 5. Those are all hard.
Yeah.
I think 3 of those I had to fire because it was my fault. Like I got a little out ahead of my skis and thought
like the business wasn't ready for this person.
Business wasn't ready. It wasn't that we couldn't afford it. It was just like the business wasn't ready to like set them up to be successful. And I wasn't as good as like coaching and training as I thought I was going to be. And it didn't work out. And so that was hard because that was like, dude, this is like completely my fault, but I still have to do it.
Yeah.
And then a couple others, it just, wasn't working out. So we had to lay those people off. But yeah, I mean, cut your teeth in a business where the risk is extremely low. You don't have debt. You don't have, you don't have investors that are like hanging over your head. And then you can make money and like go pursue something that's a little more challenging, but pursue it. Like, let's say you want to do a landscaping business and you need 20 grand to start. Well, like build the agency, learn how to run a business. Honestly, probably like go learn how to do marketing for landscape businesses and like get other landscapers to pay you to learn that skill and like get good at it. And then with the cash flow from that business, start your landscaping business. I mean, like, I can't even tell you, dude, 2 years ago, it would have been impossible for me to come up with 20 grand. Like, I would have been like borrowing and stealing, like trying to figure out like, how can I get this landscaping business off the ground? And that would have been like all the money, right? Like I wouldn't have any working capital.
Yeah, you'd still be pretty tight with only 20 grand.
Where today I'm like, oh yeah, it would be no problem to like go throw 20 grand at a landscaping business and like keep financing it because we have cash flow at Goodly, right? Like month after month after month, it spits off cash. So, there's reasons I haven't done that, but like once you have a business that makes money, everything else gets easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, talking about debt and then having a business that makes money, like it is so much more difficult to think about starting a business that you can be confident without revenue, without proof of concept. But if you don't have the confidence yet of like, oh, we haven't seen the revenue, it is so much harder I think, to find success if you're also worrying about your personal finances.
Yeah.
And personal finances and business finances are not one-to-one. Like you said earlier, like a business without debt is irresponsible in some ways. Personal finances, like kind of the exact opposite.
It is,
and a lot of people, misunderstand debt as a tool rather than just a burden. Yeah. Personal finances, usually more of a burden. Business finances can be a tool, but also a burden.
Yeah.
And then speaking to the early days, you're saying go cut your teeth with somebody who's already doing it and learn from them how to start this low risk business. Is that how you got started, or?
I guess to clarify, like I don't think you necessarily need to go work for somebody that's doing it. Like you could do that, but I'm just saying like literally just go start it.
Yeah.
Because like it's not going to cost you anything to start it, and the risk if it doesn't go well is so low that you can just learn on the job. Like it's literally the best way to learn. Like I've had people who are like, oh, like what, what's the best way to learn paid ads? Like other than doing paid ads. It's like, there really isn't a way. Like you've got to learn how to do paid ads by doing paid ads. And then once you're doing them, like the reason is because once you're doing it, you realize like, oh, here's like 10 things that I have questions about that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And like, it would have been impossible for me to know they existed without getting in and doing it. And then it's like, you can go call people or get on YouTube or like ChatGPT, like those 10 things that are very specific. And it's like, you just learn iteratively and you just keep going forward that way. The truth is like your service probably isn't going to be amazing. It's just not.
Yeah.
And like, people are going to be taking a bet on you. And for us in the early days, it was like, I wanted to make sure we were delivering massive value regardless of like how good our service was. So for our first few customers, I did all kinds of things for them that I wouldn't do for customers today. Like people were like, oh, I want to like reach out to, I want to reach out to like commercial businesses for like cleaning services and do some outbound. Like, how would I do that? And I'm like, well, I'll build you a list. I'll give you a list and I'll tell you how to do it. Right. Yeah. Like I wouldn't do that for customers today.
Yeah. Today that'd be
not
like
our service.
All right. Well, I've got an hourly rate for that.
Totally. But it's like, I wouldn't even do an hourly rate because I'm like, it's just not worth it. I'm like, we have our systems and we stick to our systems. But, in the early days, it's like, well, our SEO might not be like top notch, but I can make sure you're getting your, $500-$800 worth, whatever, if I do all these other things for you too. Yeah. And I can be that point of contact for you. Like you're getting me as like a point of like, it's somebody that's just going to hustle for you to make up for the fact that like maybe our SEO services aren't amazing. You keep customers that way, right? Like, cause I mean, I guarantee you, dude, some of our early customers were probably like, well, we're not seeing like great results, but at least James like gets on calls with us 3 times a week and like gives us tips on other things and like sends us lists and like, that's worth it, you know? So it's like, you do that kind of stuff.
They're like, we Googled ourselves in incognito and we're not showing off. But he's pretty nice.
Yeah, basically.
Well, you spoke to like, you're not even going to learn some of these things like until you get started. What are some of those things that like, oh, I didn't even know I'd have to deal with this, like as an entrepreneur, that you could speak to for the younger or aspiring audience?
Oh, I mean, like service wise, there's all kinds of things, and that's going to be nuanced by service. But like running a business, and I would argue that like running a business is the skill that people should be developing. Like you don't necessarily need to go become an expert at paid ads or an expert at local SEO because you can hire people to do that. Like I had a teacher that used to tell me like, don't go to law school and don't become an accountant. Those are people you just pay to do that. Like you're wasting a ton of time doing those things when you can just pay somebody that's an expert to do it.
And now they're getting replaced by AI too.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I consider becoming an attorney like my first couple semesters of college. And I'm really glad I didn't.
I mean, attorneys are awesome, dude. I mean, like I kind of wish I went to law school.
Yeah.
Only because like attorneys are people who just know how to solve problems and like get to the bottom of things.
And they know all the loopholes and they're like, oh, like,
yeah,
I can help you
that
solve
applies
this.
across every business. But anyway, my point is like running a business and building a business is a skill. And so things in that sense that like I had no idea about is like paying people, like payroll has been a massive learning opportunity for me. And I'm like, I still get bills from the IRS. That's like, you owe us money from like a year and a half ago. I'm like, well, freak, I don't know how I botched that up, but you know, like, I guess I'll pay you.
over payroll issues or
what's that?
Over payroll issues?
Yeah, over payroll issues. Like, oh, I didn't pay payroll tax. And it's like, well, I thought the software I was using was paying the payroll tax. Like they took it out of my bank.
Yeah.
Like, where did it go? And it's like, you just got to figure all these nuances of payroll. And I mean, there's all kinds of like 1099 versus W-2, like legal requirements and finance, like all kinds of things in accounting and finance, which are totally different. Like accounting looking backwards, finance looking forward. I'm terrible at finance for my business. Awful. Like I don't have a 13-week cash flow projection for my business. I've tried it and I'm like, oh, it's just too manual to maintain. Like I wish I could plug it into Stripe and like there's just all these little things. And that's kind of what's fun about business is like you learn all these different things that you just wouldn't have otherwise ever had a chance to learn. Like I just built a database. I haven't ever built a database. I've worked with databases and queried databases.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I've spent 2 years like taking lists from spreadsheets and like uploading them to our calling software. And then like 6 months later being like, where was that list? And like, did I finish it? And like, I'm terrible at like organizing my laptop and files and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm just wasting time here. So I'm like, I just need to learn how to build a database.
And you did that yourself?
Yeah. I mean, YouTube and ChatGPT, I built it in Google BigQuery. And now we've got, 400,000 plus rows of like potential leads that I can just query and be like, hey, I want like anybody that fits our ICP and is in the Eastern time zone, like spit that out. And it's like, I can build lists in like 5 minutes now, where it used to take me like a half hour.
Yeah.
And a lot of the half hour was like going and finding the stuff that I didn't know where it was. So it's like, you just learn all kinds of different things that you don't even think about. Like, and certainly you wouldn't even know to ask. Like it took me a long time. And I actually did ask somebody about the database. I went to a professor I knew at BYU and was like, hey man, I know you do databases, like personal databases and stuff. Like what's the best tool for this use case? And, Airtable won't work because it's only this many rows and I need, probably like 500,000 to 1 million rows. Like, and he told me like, this is what you have to use. He didn't tell me how to do it, but he told me like, this is what to use. And then I'm like, okay, that's all I need for now. And I'll go and dive into like, what does my use case look like here and how do I build it? And, I don't know, dude, it's just there's always something to learn.
Yeah. So it seems like for getting started, like you really just have to start. And then once you're scaling, once you're building, it seems like you've relied on at least one mentor. Like, have there been other mentors along the way who've played a significant role in your growth?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is where like networking comes into play, right? It's just like, how can you connect with other people who are either, I mean, I would say it's a spectrum, right? Like you've got people who are behind you, you've got people who are at your stage,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got people who are well ahead of you. And there's benefit to being tapped into all of those groups, right? Like you want to be working alongside people who are at the same stage as you, because like that's where you're going to be like, dude, I just tried this. Like I've got this. It's funny, right? That business partner who's my brother-in-law, he actually runs essentially the same business as I do. You know, we had to split up and set these up separately because we couldn't work together. But like, man, he's been such a resource for me where, you know, I can call him and be like, hey, dude, I'm like struggling to hire salespeople. What's working for you? I'm struggling to get leads right now. What's working for you? Like, have you figured out email yet? And we just share back and forth. Like, this is what's working for me. And it's not like, I mean, it's not collaborating to the extent that I'm like, well, yeah, dude, here's the list that I call it, you know, but it's just talking about like, how's your business going? What are you doing? You know, that's like, oh man, that might be a problem I'm facing. Like, I want to try something that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
The people ahead of you are going to give you like the vision. You know, they're going to say like, well, you have to be building in this way and you have to be heading in this direction, because it's like they've already rode that path. And the people behind you, I mean, like in terms of value they offer to you, I don't know if there's a ton, but you've got to help. Like you've always, you want to be, because in that, on their spectrum, you are like the person ahead.
Yeah.
So it's like you're helpful to them because they might surpass you and like, or get to that point you are. And now it's like they're a peer and you want that relationship of like, hey, I scratched your back. Like you scratched mine, dude, help me out. Like, and I think for me, there's been numerous people throughout the journey who have filled each of those roles. You know, someone I just actually texted yesterday about a coaching group. And I'm like, I first met with him when he was doing like $10,000 a month. And now he's, you know, almost twice the size of Goodly.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, dude, was it the coaching group that you got into? like what's the secret here, you know? So I think you've got to, there's certainly been mentors along the way, and you've got to be willing to break out from like your shell and connect with those people to get ideas.
I would assume too that the people who are below you, beneath you, behind you, however you want to say it, and that's, I would say, no reflection on them as a person. You're just like the status of their growth. You know,
it's just timing. You know?
I would say that those people are probably also the ones who are maybe grinding harder at searching for new tools or new information that maybe you think I already have a tool for that.
Yeah.
But they're still in the marketplace for the best tool.
Yeah.
And so I would assume that sometimes they could be a resource, not being in your position, but sometimes they could still be a resource of like, they're the ones on the forefront of searching for that new information.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for the people out there who don't want to appear salesy, but want to have a business, what do you say to them?
Don't start a business. I think you got to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, appearing salesy, again, dude, this is a Utah problem, but like people look at sales, or people think of sales, and all that they think of is like summer sales door to door.
Right.
Like I'm selling pest control.
Solar.
And I'm trying to like force you into buying pest control.
Yeah.
When you're running a business and if you have like a sales process, odds are it's B2B. Typically like B2C doesn't have a true sales process. Like it's just not the LTV of the customer generally isn't high enough to like warrant having like a sales process. The exception being solar and pest control and some
other
of those
high ticket items.
Yeah. So if you're doing B2B, you've just got to accept the fact that like you have to sell, and it's not like being salesy. It's like identifying like, do you have a problem? Like it's literally the journey and the course of the call is like, well, what's your current state? What's your desired state? So let's highlight the gap between those two. And then can we fill that gap? Like or not even fill the gap. Can we help you bridge the gap? Because the gap doesn't need to be filled. It's like, I'm at point A, I need to get to point B. Like, can we help you cross that chasm and like get to where you need to be?
Yeah.
And if not, like, then we're not a good fit. Right. And if yes, then like, let's explore it. Right. If you have a product that you like believe in and you're going through that workflow with prospects, like you don't have to be salesy. You're not convincing anybody to buy something. It's a conversation about like, hey, how can we work together to get you the outcome you want?
Yeah.
And I think that's lost on people. They're just like, oh, I'm scared to sell. I used to say that. Like, I don't want to be a salesman. I don't want to do that. But that's the core function of an owner of a business is to sell. So if you think you're going to like hire somebody to do it or bring a partner on that's going to do it, like you're going to be disappointed. You've got to be the one to like buckle down and say, I'm going to get good at this. And it's an amazing skill to develop, right? Like AI is not replacing sales.
Yeah.
Relationship-based sales, absolutely not. And all B2B sales to some extent are relationship-based. If it's not SaaS, it's relationship-based sales. And even SaaS at times has that. So it's like build that skill of sales and you'll always be able to make money and you'll always have a job you could go get or a new business you could start if you have that sales muscle.
Yeah. And you're familiar with Alex Hormozi, obviously. So you're probably also familiar with Ali Abdaal.
No.
Oh, really? You haven't seen his stuff?
Ali
Abdaal. He was a doctor in the UK.
Okay.
And then I'll butcher his story a little bit, but turned YouTuber and also talks about lifestyle businesses. And one of the things that he says, like regarding sales, like sales is really just like person, problem, solution. Like you find a person, they have a problem, and you offer them a solution.
Yeah.
And if there's a break in that chain anywhere, then it's like, well, we're not a good fit. And you find, somewhere where that chain's complete. And he makes whole, hour-long YouTube videos about it. So he's got more to say. But it is that simple, I think, where like I've done sales. I've never done summer sales, but, I've done some sales. And I think it really is as simple as like, oh, you don't have this problem? Hey, well, nice to meet you. Like, hope you have a great rest of your day. Like, we'll keep going here.
It is. And a good business will like not just walk away there, but they'll like nurture that relationship over time, whether it's through emails or content or whatever, you know, but yeah, I mean, you don't push something on somebody that has no need for it.
Yeah. And, mentioning Alex Hormozi again, like there's upsell offers, downsell offers, and like, oh, you don't have a need for this. Like, well, then maybe there's some more discovery you can do. Like, well, maybe you have a need for this. We also offer that.
Yeah.
And there's stuff you can build into your sales processes there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to sell, right?
Absolutely. No revenue without selling.
Right. And somebody's got to be the one doing the selling.
Yep.
So your first sale then, would you describe that process as difficult? We'll just stick on sales for a second here. Was it difficult for you to overcome like wanting to not be salesy, or was it difficult to find that first, I forgot, blue collar? Who was your ICP there that you were working with? Yeah,
I mean, the ICP at that time was just like any home service business.
Okay.
Funny enough, like that first customer was a commercial cleaning business. They did do residential as well, but like they probably didn't fit our ICP perfectly. I don't know, dude. I think the idea of being salesy is misguided. Like,
so you got over it pretty quickly then.
Yeah, that was not the problem. Like, I never was going to go in there and be like, I don't even really know what that means. So if people are saying like, yeah, I don't want to be too salesy, like just forget that. Like, that's nonsense. Like, you can do whatever you want on a sales call. You got to go for a close. If you think going for a close is too salesy, like you got to study sales, because that's not salesy. That's just like your job is to go for a close. I think what people like, I don't want to be too salesy. I don't like sales. I think more than anything, that's just like a proxy for I'm scared of being told no. I'm scared of the rejection. And that's real, right? Yeah. Like we inherently, like as you do so many sales calls, you like realize this, like one, we don't want to be told no as like human beings.
Yeah.
Two, we also don't want to tell people no as human beings, right? So like we got to a point where it was like, we had deals that were just open forever because our salesman wasn't like going for the close strongly enough, and because he didn't want to be told no.
Yeah.
And the prospect wasn't saying no because they didn't want to say no, right? So it's just like dragging on. And it's like, we have a new policy where it's like, your goal as a salesperson is to get to no as fast as possible, right? the people who want to do it will do it, right?
Yeah.
Like oftentimes you're not convincing anybody. It's more about timing and framing the problem the right way, like catching them at a time when they feel the problem, and then like having them understand your solution to that problem. But like I could call somebody today who probably needs like some SEO help, and they could completely blow me off because it's just not top of mind.
Yeah.
They're not feeling it. Exactly. Yeah. And a month later, they could be like, oh, well, I solved that problem I was facing a month ago. And now the biggest thing on my mind is like, we're not getting enough customers. They're probably not going to call me back just because they don't do that.
Yeah.
They're going to go with whoever happens to have called them on that day. Right. And like, so it's like, you've got to get to that no as fast as possible. And then be willing to like follow up with people again and again and again, every quarter or every 6 months or every year, depending on like what their situation is. But yeah, I mean, it's more than anything. It's a problem of like, I'm just scared to hear no, and I'm scared to be rejected. And you've got to get over that to sell effectively. But too salesy is just, I just don't think it's a thing. Like you're not pulling a hood over anybody's eyes. Like they know why you're on the phone with them. Your job is to like get them to buy your service.
Yeah, it's not
like,
a trick.
They don't think you're a buddy. Like they know you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just like doing it well and like showing them that you're not wasting their time. You're not selling them crap. Like you just want to solve their problem if they have it. And if they don't have it, then like, okay, there's nothing for us to talk about then if you don't have this problem. So yeah, I mean, it's funny, dude, because it's like I literally was in this boat of like, I don't want to sell. I will not sell in the first business I ran. And it ruined the business, you know? And with this business, a few years later, it was like, I told myself, like, I remember telling my wife, like, if I can't hit $10,000 by this date, then I'm going to go get a job. And I'm not going to ever bring this up again. I'm not going to say I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm not going to do it. Because like, I know if I don't hit 10,000.
Big statement.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I hope she would have helped me to it. I hit 10,000 before the date. But I'm like, I knew that the only reason I wouldn't hit it is because I was just like unwilling to do the work of selling. And if I couldn't do that, then like, I didn't deserve to go buy a business. I've got a brother-in-law who's buying a business next week. And it's like, he's going to buy that business and immediately he's going to step in as a salesman. Because it's like, that's how you grow a business is sales. So it's like, if you don't want to do sales, you will have zero control over the most important facet of your business, which is growth, top line revenue growth. And like, you're not in control of that if you don't want to sell. If you have somebody else selling, it's like, that's not where you want to be, especially in the beginning. Like today, I don't sell anymore and I have a sales team that does that work and I employ people to do it and I train them and whatnot. But like in that early stage, you've got to be accountable for that or else you're just not going to, I don't think you'll find success.
So you've talked about teams and you talked about how you started by yourself at first, but then kind of quickly at least brought on freelancers and then eventually full-time people. In the lifestyle business world, it seems to be, I see a focus on like the solopreneur. It seems like you've strayed from that path pretty quickly. So tell me about that decision-making. Like it happened pretty quick. Were you already planning, like from inception, you were like, well, this will become something where I want to hire people, manage people, and ultimately have them taking on parts of the business? Did it start that way, or how was your decision making? It
absolutely started that way, and it was just because of like the service we're offering. You know, like it would have been impossible to be a solopreneur because I didn't know how to do that work all that well. Right? I could have learned it, but it would have slowed me down, and that was never the goal, right? And especially in a service-based business, which most agencies are, it's like you have to scale up your team to serve more clients, right? It's very linear growth. It's flattening out a bit with AI because it's like, well, now we can get more work done with the same number of employees. But I mean, yeah, we're up to like 22 or 23 team members at Goodly now. Not all of which are direct reports, thank goodness. But yeah, this isn't a model that fits a solopreneur pathway, right? Like you could call yourself a solopreneur, but essentially you'd be a freelancer if you were doing what I do on your own entirely, and you'd have to charge more to do it because you wouldn't be able to handle the load of clients,
right?
That we do. Like at our price point, you wouldn't be able to handle the load of clients you would need to make meaningful money. Something like my course business, I would say that's like a solopreneur business because it's information, right? I can build it and sell it and then just like update it along the way.
Mm-hmm. And can you speak to the reality of courses? I saw a post of yours recently talking about building your course and like, well, here's how much money it's actually made, and I'm building the third version of it. I don't know that courses are still as glamorized as they used to be, but how successful has your course been?
I don't know. I mean, successful in that it's made money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I made in the beta course, I think we did like $40,000 or $42,000 of revenue, but I had to split that with someone who I paid to promote it. We had like a 50% distribution agreement. So maybe I made like 20 grand. And then in the past year, right, where I've never really pushed it or anything, but I think there's been, people that have like come across a podcast I've done or like a social media post or something and been interested and signed up. So I'm like, I've probably done, north of $50,000 in revenue, certainly north of 50, maybe close to 60. I don't know the exact number, but somewhere between 50 and 60. But a good chunk of that was distributed to someone else who posted about it. So yeah, monetarily, like, has it been a major success? Like, yeah, I mean, I've made money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got like a problem with courses because of how they're perceived. I think it's a little bogus that they're perceived the way they are. But I mean, you probably know, you see people calling them scams.
He's my first guest. He's a buddy of mine. And he bought a business doing, it's evolved a little bit, but started as like mobile tire changes, mobile oil changes.
Yeah.
And now he does more like fleet servicing, type of stuff. But B2B, he's getting more into the B2B automotive world. And he told me, I was talking about this podcast before we recorded anything, just in the idea stage, like, hey, I think I want to do this, not your MBA. The idea is that like, a season will be MBA curriculum. And then I'll just like keep doing new seasons. We'll keep going. And maybe eventually like I'll build a course alongside it where I could package some of the information and maybe collaborate with one of the guests to build some sort of tool that will include that in the course. And he's like, don't do a course, man. Courses are a scam. I'm like, no, they're real. Like they can, like for somebody who could, take action based off the things that they learn in a course, like courses are great, in my opinion. But
I mean, it's the same. It's just nonsense, right? It's like that. I think that's a lazy take on courses. There are certainly courses out there that are probably like wasteful, right? And like not going to give you, okay, inherently none of the courses are a scam, right? Like if a scam is like you paid for something and you literally didn't get it, like then none of the courses are scams, right? Like scams are illegal. You go to prison for fraud, like if you're scamming people. So it's like, what people are trying to say is like, oh, that wasn't worth the money, right? Like, and it's like, well, why wasn't it worth the money? Odds are it's because you didn't do it. Like most people that start courses don't finish them, myself included. I've done that where I've paid for a course and not finished it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, well, the content in the course wasn't valuable, right? Or I tried what they said and it didn't work. Now, there's all kinds of problems at play there where it's like, maybe they set unrealistic expectations, right?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like I'm always like pretty frank with people that want to buy my course. So like this is going to be really hard for you, right? You're going to go through that. Like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to buy the course. Like that's the peak confidence when you buy a course. It's like, this is going to be incredible. I'm going to I remember I bought Justin Welsh's course. I'm like, I'm going to have, 100,000 followers on LinkedIn in a year, right? Like,
I mean, you're doing good.
And then it's like,
not 100,000.
Boom, I'm at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because I realized like, well, that's not going to happen. And certainly not in the timeline, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe expectations could be set a little better. And you're just, I think people will often be like, it's a money grab when I'm like, yeah, maybe it is a money grab. It's a phenomenal business model, right? Like
yeah, you build it once theoretically, and it lives forever.
Forever. Even that's a bit of a falsehood because I'm on version 3 of the course. Maybe that's like a personal problem where I'm like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like I have to keep iterating. But also it's like, you want to do something like that from someone who's doing the thing. Like a lot of course, not even who's done it, but who's doing it. Right. Cause I'm a big David Goggins fan. And like, I heard something he said once where he was like, dude, I get out and I run every single day, even though it sucks. Because anytime I post, you know that I'm going through it. Right. When I stop doing this, I'm not going to post on social media ever again. Cause it's like, what do I have to say? Like I used to run 100 miles a week. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's, you know, there's nothing there for you. So it's like, my course is getting better because like I'm learning new things in my agency, and I'm like, well, that thing I said doesn't apply anymore. I've got to change it, right? Because I don't believe that anymore. Like I used to believe that you didn't need to niche down, and I'm like, I don't believe that anymore. Like I used to think that my best hiring avenue was onlinejobs.ph. I don't believe that anymore. I think Indeed is a much better hiring platform. Like you just learn and evolve and adapt. And if you're like buying a course from somebody who is doing the thing still, like you'll benefit from continued learning, right? Like on their end, and now you're relying on them to continue updating. Like if it's truly a money grab, like they'll probably just do it once and be done.
Leave it there for years.
But I don't know, dude. I'm like, I think, you know, I've had probably 20 people go through my course, and probably only 5 or 6 have like had meaningful outcomes. And it's like, well, some of the people who didn't have meaningful outcomes, like didn't even do it or try. Some tried and realized this is too hard. And some were like, there's different opportunities I want to pursue. Like that's the profile of like the 3 groups who haven't had like meaningful success. The people who have had meaningful success is like, some have probably not had as much success as they would have hoped to at this point. Like, but still, I mean, they're running their businesses full time and making good money.
Yeah. Like, is that not success? That sounds like success, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's success, but you know, maybe not as much as they would have hoped for. So I think I said this earlier, dude, it's like a course is going to help the person who's already going to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. And you're just accelerating the timeline on which they can be successful. So if you are thinking like, that's me, then like, yeah, buy a course because you'll get something out of it. The people who are like, I'm going to buy a course and that's going to be like me checking the box on my goal of starting a business and then like never do anything else, like they're probably wasting their money, and they should just not spend money.
Yeah.
You know, like,
don't spend the money, get a job.
Don't spend the money. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know what else I could say about courses. Yeah. I don't know if I'm a huge proponent of them. I do actually have somebody that approached me and was like, dude, you're sitting on a gold mine. Like, I want to run ads for this. And we'll split the profit. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We can do that, you know? And so I've gone through some work with him to do that, and I've continued improving the course. And I'm like, if somebody wants to like push this and make it really successful, then like, great. But the content's the content. It's not my primary focus or priority.
Right.
If I can make $100,000 a year off of it, I would be, you know, over the moon, you know, like that would be so rad, you know? And if I can't, like, I'm not going to be bugged because I make money elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
that's not my
thing.
primary source of income.
Yeah. Well, I love what you said. And I think you said it on LinkedIn kind of recently too. That like a course is really for the person who was going to make it either way. But it's just accelerating that to happening now or happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Coaching's the same way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't done any courses or coaching, you know, just to be transparent with everybody, but I am a believer in both. I think there's value in both. But I think the traits that are going to set somebody apart, you know, from making it either way, you probably experienced early on. Like, how did you stay consistent when it was tough? You know, when you were in school, when you still have kids, but when the kids required a lot, the business required a lot. You know, you put them to bed and you come back, you know, to your desk and you get back to work. Like, how did you stay consistent through it all?
It's different for every person. You know, like, I don't think the traits that I had by any means are like the traits you have to have. For me, it was like very much my back is up against the wall and there was nowhere else to go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had, we had bought a house in Texas. We loved the neighborhood. We had amazing friends across the street. Like our church community was incredible. Amazing. My wife loved it. And I uprooted us and took us to Utah. And she was miserable here for like a year. We moved here. She was 8 months pregnant when we moved. And so like she had the baby, then was going through postpartum. Like it was the winter when that happened. Like my daughter was born at, her birthday's in 2 days. So
my daughter's birthday is on Tuesday.
Oh, so, rad. Yeah. What, the first?
Cool.
No. 30th?
The 30th.
Okay. Yeah. Mine's the 28th. But
sorry to derail you. But
no, you're
that's
good.
Cool.
So like she was miserable and didn't want to be in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
We've since come to love Utah, but we did all this because I like had this dream of like, I want to do something for myself. Like I want to do something more than just like go to this job every day. It was an amazing job. Like I literally was on a phenomenal trajectory at that job with like people in my corner. Like I had like VPs, the CIO, like high level executives who were like, yeah, this kid is like one of 3 that we consider to be like the future of the department.
He's going to be the guy.
Yeah. And so we had this rad life and I just like gave it all up and uprooted my family. And so being here, it was like, we were running out of money and I'd like made my wife kind of miserable. All for this like dream I had of buying a business, really is what it was. And then that didn't pan out quite how I thought it would. I had a business under contract. And so that second semester of my MBA program, I'm like, I've got to find a way to make money and I've got to make this work or else like this was all for nothing. Like, cause literally my like outcome was to go back to Texas and like go back to that job. Yeah. Right. Like that was my backstop, after my MBA. Was like, hey, if I don't buy a business, like I can just go back there. They'll hire me back. They did hire me back, during the program. So I was probably a little ahead of schedule and burnt a couple of bridges that I didn't intend to burn. But yeah, I was like, this is it. Like if I don't build something, like this was for nothing. And we're just going to end up right back where we were, having had like a miserable 20 months. Right. And I can't let that happen. Like this is my chance. And if I blow it, I blow it. And it's like, I'm done. And that was what kept me going, dude. I'm like, I have to make this work. I have to do absolutely everything I can do so that when I go back to that job, I truly can be happy knowing that like, I just didn't have it. And that's what got me through it, and it worked, right? I got really lucky. I worked really hard, but I got really lucky and I'm still getting lucky like every day. Like it's not even like this is like going to last forever, right? Like I'm very aware that like this could all go away and I could have to go get a job. There's I don't know. We don't have to get into all that, but it's like, I act accordingly, right? Like I have money saved. I'm like, oh, we could live for 4 years without making $1 because
that's a good emergency fund.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's probably extreme, right? Like we haven't bought a house out here because I'm like, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch that money. We have to save on top of that because I don't want to touch that because I'm like, I want a 4-year cushion so that I don't have to go get a job. Like I can give myself some runway to say, I can start over.
Yeah, I'll try another thing. I'll do this again.
So I'm a little paranoid, but yeah, dude, I mean, I think again, it's different for everybody. Like, but you got to have something driving you to do the work.
Yeah.
And if you don't, like, you're probably not gonna do it.
Yeah, it's probably not for you, or at least not right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you, dude, you're doing this podcast. Like, what keeps you doing it?
I want to have amazing conversations with amazing people, and I think this is a lot of fun. And honestly, I've like felt it from you, like during this conversation. Like, not to be like too meta about it, but I'm like, yeah, I need to put out even more clips. I need to make these videos even better. I need to make these questions even better. Yeah. And it's not, I've got pretty good gear.
Great.
As
dude.
you put your arm over your face, I realized like, I really should get a hair light. And I'm like, it's not about the gear necessarily.
I record on my phone. So this is great.
I've watched the interviews that you do. And I think they're great, but really I think the conversation is like, that's where the value is. I think that I and my mom at least watches like every episode. But growing up, I feel like my parents and they still are to an extent, but I think they've always been like entrepreneurs. And whether they meant to or not, they kind of instilled that in me. Where like, I really value my freedom. I really value like you eat what you kill sort of deal. Not to the point where like, I just want to work in sales all day, you know, but I have done sales. I'm decent at it. But I do the podcast because I think that like there's a lot of value in these conversations and I want to share that with people.
Yeah.
And I do get bummed out when a video like doesn't perform really well, partly as a reflection on me. I'm like, what could I have done better? Like, you know, let's make that video better. But also like, I really liked some of those conversations and nobody heard it.
Yeah.
And like that bums me out.
Yeah. And I mean, that's natural, dude. You're doing like one of the hardest business models there is.
Yeah.
Which
Like,
is like
I arguably shouldn't be doing this.
No, dude, this is so hard and hard even harder because it's like, man, you spend all the time and you're emotionally invested in it and it just like something can flop.
Yeah.
And
it
flop
does
hard
every day.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think whatever keeps you moving forward, it's like, that's a highly personal thing. Like you think that these conversations need to get out there. Like, yeah, you just got to keep doing the things that you just got to keep doing it and being consistent. And I'm like, anytime you just continue and continue and continue, like you increase your surface area of luck and like something will happen. Like, you know, for you, it's probably like, you just got to get, you know, even bigger and bigger people on here to come and do this with
That's
you.
why you're here.
Yeah. Not me, but you know, and it's like, there's something there for you, you know, but yeah, it's everybody's got to answer that question for themselves. Like what is going to keep me going when it's hard? Cause it's always hard.
Yeah. I mean, there's been so many hard days and nights and like editing something till like 2 a.m. where it's like, no one's even going to listen to the end of this video. Like, do I really need to edit out the little, like the clicks that we make sometimes with our mouth that we don't even realize, like the little noises we make? Do I need to do that an hour into the episode that no one even, you know, hears? Maybe not, but I do that because I really want to have like the best product to put out there.
Yeah.
I heard it said before that, and I don't know if it's true, I haven't read the research on it, but I've heard it said that people are either motivated by the carrot or the stick. And you can be motivated by both, in certain circumstances. Do you feel like you're more motivated by the carrot or by the stick? Like, I can't have that negative outcome, or I'm chasing the $1 billion. Have you thought about that for yourself before?
I haven't. I mean, off the cuff, I think, to be honest, the stick probably motivates me more. I mean, I think, again, once you get to this point that inevitably like people get to, like money's just so funny, dude. Like everybody has different opinions on money. Like nobody wants to talk about it. But you know, when I had no money, the stick for sure, it's like, oh dude, I'm going to like lose, you know, this opportunity or this job, or I'm going to like, my family's going to be destitute, or we're going to like, one of the other reasons we still own our house in Texas, but it's like, we haven't bought a house out here. Cause I'm like, well, I don't want to pay $5,000 a month for a mortgage. Yeah. And it's like the houses my wife wants are like $5,000 a month. And I'm like, well, we could do that. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how you dice up like the percentage rules of like your income to like your mortgage, I'm like, we would be in great shape. Yeah. Right.
No matter what rule you want to use, like we can afford it.
Totally. We can afford it. But I'm like, I don't want to do it because that risk of like, we have a bad year and I lose a house. Like I lose the roof over my family's head.
The house you live in.
Yeah. Keeps me from doing it. I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't, you know, until I'm like, we have, you know, cash to pay for that house. Like I can't do it. Yeah. Which again, like people would disagree with me on that, and that's fine. Right. Like everybody has different feelings on money. But now that I'm like, well, I've got this like 4-year emergency fund set aside. Not even, dude, it's not even like in a high yield savings account. I'm like, I'm absolutely irresponsible. But
where's this?
It's literally just like under my mattress now. No, it's, you know, in a checking account. Right. And I'm like,
I mean, I've got a finance background. I can recommend a good high yield savings if you need.
Yeah. I need to do something, but like, it's just there. So I'm like, well, I feel more secure financially. And now I'm less motivated by like, it's all going to get taken away. I'm probably a little bit more motivated by the carrot of like, well, what's out there next? What can I do more? Like, how can I, you know, build just a better business. Like that motivates me a lot to be
Yeah.
like, well, what is our marketing agency today? Like, are we a top tier marketing agency? Truthfully, no, we're not. Like, our service across the board is like, there's probably a lot of quality differences between customers. I'm like, well, how can we become like the best marketing agency? And that motivates me. Or like doing business with friends. Like, that's something that motivates me. And I'm like, I'd love to be able to do that down the line where I'm like, I can throw some money at this business and put some time into it. A lot of family stuff motivates me. So it's like, it's shifted from like very stick driven to a little bit more of like, what else is out there for me? And that can be, frankly, that's challenging, right? There's like a hard change where I'm like, I've gone from this very pessimistic view. My wife always calls me a pessimist. I'm like, I think I'm a realist, but like, yeah, like I'm doing all of this so I don't lose XYZ to like, well, what's out there? And I've never thought about what's out there. Like, I've never broadened my horizons to say like, what else can I do? And so, at times I'm like, I'm a little lost. Like, I don't even know how to think about what's out there. I'm still just a little bit driven by like, I don't want to do that because I might lose 50 grand.
Yeah.
And that's like 10 months gone. Right. Like, or I don't want to buy the house because now it's like our 4 years is down to 1 year.
Yeah.
And it's like, not only that, but our cost of living increased. So it's like even lower because our, net expenses out every month went up. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. I think I didn't even remember your question. But.
No, I was asking about carrot versus stick, like motivating, because I've thought about it. I again, haven't read the research, but when I heard it, it felt true, and I thought about myself, and I think at least at this point in my life, I think I'm also more motivated by the stick. Like I'm not trying to chase $1 billion valuation with a tech company. And I think the biggest builders are probably more carrot motivated, like the Elons and the Bezoses and the Zuckerbergs, like they're probably more carrot motivated.
Yeah.
Where us regular people are more stick motivated, where it's like, well, I just want to have a business that allows me to live my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Pays for a little more than I need. And I can enjoy my life. And like, I'm not trying to build the biggest thing in the world. I wouldn't mind if this podcast became like, Diary of a CEO or like
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Even Joe Rogan. Like, I don't need to, I think he's putting out episodes every day, right?
Oh, I don't know. Is he?
I'm not an avid Joe Rogan listener, but I think he's putting out episodes every day.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, well, that's kind of more than I want to do, like 2 or 3 a week, maybe. Like, that'd be great. But yeah, I would like to build a big thing, but not like the biggest thing in the world.
Huh.
Is that the wife?
It wasn't. Somebody else got through. They must have called me twice, but
well, it must be important. We'll let you get
I'll have
to
to
it
call
soon.
him back.
Yeah. Well, James, I have really enjoyed our conversation here. I'm glad you looked at the email before this and saw us in person and came over.
This has been rad, dude. I think that these should be in person. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I think
way
there's a lot of value in it.
Yeah, way cooler than doing it virtually.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've done one virtual. I've got another virtual lined up for next week, and it is what it is. She's in the UK. It's not like she's coming to Salt Lake anytime soon.
Yeah.
But if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. James@goodlygrowth.com is a good email for me. I'm down at BYU twice a week. So
we didn't even talk about the professor stuff. Maybe an episode 2.
Yeah.
But you're teaching just a broad overview. What are you teaching?
I'm teaching like the course that I built. I'm teaching it as like a class at BYU. So how to start an agency for these kids. I don't know if I'll do it again or not, but it's more than work.
More than you bargained for?
I mean, yes and no. It works out because it's like I needed to redevelop a lot of content for the course anyway. So it's like this is like my kind of forced hand to be like I have to like build out a more robust curriculum. Like I have to fill an hour and 15 minutes of a class with one specific subject. So it's been good for that reason because I'm like, I'm being able to kind of get the work I needed to get done on course development done and on a timeline. But I'm literally like, I teach on Mondays. We do interviews on Wednesdays. Like somebody will come in, a guest will come in and talk to the class. And so it's like every Sunday night, I'm like, all right, got to get this, like the slides done.
Got to get my lesson plan together.
So it's just, it's certainly a time commitment and it keeps me from like traveling. Like I said, we'd be going to California for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to be in class. So, there's some good, it would push me out of my comfort zone. it's worth trying to like say that I did, but
Yeah.
I think certainly a lot of respect to the professors. I do this, semester in, semester out. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And they're doing 6 classes or 5 classes, like not easy at all.
Yeah, that's insane.
Good for them.
Well, what a steal for the students too. Like they're paying their tuition, but they were going to take a class either way. And how cool is it to take a class from somebody who's doing the thing and like they're essentially getting a how-to course like in their class.
Yeah.
I know we've both been in school recently. Like that's not how classes are.
No, it's not. And I mean, hopefully they get something good out of it. I think that there's, it's like anything else, dude. It's like some people are going to get a ton out of it and some people are going to get hardly anything out of it.
Yeah.
And it's not really up to go back to courses. It's like, it's not really up to the person putting on a course out to like determine what value you get. The value is there and you can get infinite value or like, 0 value. And it's really on you, as a learner. Like that's what college is all about. Like you as a learner have to get something out of it. Otherwise, you wasted your time.
Yeah.
Right?
Wasted
like,
time and money.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully there's enough. Hopefully we swing to the side of like the majority gets, high value out of it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for those kids. I think that's way cool.
Yeah. Well, this has been sweet, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
James Lincoln, everybody.